Hello, everyone. Welcome to my review of Welcome to Plathville Season 5, Episode 1. Is this a dagger which I see? So, we will be getting started. This will be no video. This is all talk. So, if you want to sit me on your table, on your computer stand, wherever, you can do that because this is all going to be me talking to you. I had such strong emotions watching this. I have been a faithful viewer of Plathville since season 1. So let's just get into it because I got something to say.
It's a pretty empty feeling. You know, Nathan's gone at work. Mariah's not in the house. There's a note on the counter. There's a lot going on. And she's finally moving out and going to be on her own for the first time. And she was just hoping that, we could talk at some point. Mariah had told me before we left for Europe that she was going to stay a couple weeks after I got back. But then something happens that she doesn't like, packs up all her stuff. That does feel a little bit theatrical, if you will.
So Welcome to Plathville started off nice and not gullible, nice and, I don't know, that happy, we're just clueless about the outside world. And then stuff started going downhill after season 1. Basically after the kids grew up and got out the house or got married. And then all hell broke loose in Plathville, okay? All hell. Olivia was having issues with the mom, not her mom, but her husband's mom. And that created a wedge with already a bigger wedge that the mom had with the rest of the kids. And Olivia was finding it very hard to even be in the same room, same vicinity as the mom, which everyone was cool with at first, but as they kind of met up with the mom and was trying to, get back, to being a family, she was still out here triggered, getting on everybody's nerves. I'm sorry, she got on my nerves. She got on my nerves. They were talking about the whole thing with Joshua, the little brother who had passed away, unfortunately, going to the grave site, and she made a big stink about their mother coming. Like, that's her child. Like, what are you talking about? They went to Europe by themselves, traveled, did all that other stuff, as a young couple should. They said it was too much noise from the family and everyone else about their marriage, opinions, blah, blah, blah. So they decided to cut all that out and go to Europe, travel, enjoy each other, yada, 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 which I think is cool. But girl, you definitely put them in your marriage. Y'all were all living together, and Mariah was your best friend, Ethan's sister. So you kind of set yourself up, but I get it. I get it. You wanted to be the Miss Jump in and let them experience everything, and now you're going to be like, oh, well, you can't be over here anymore. You should have never invited them in your marriage and all the other stuff. So basically, Micah just called Olivia a liar. So they flash to Micah. He's back. And he has his own apartment, no roommates. He's excited about that. He's dancing his little behind all around. Micah goes into Olivia saying a story about the mom. And he flashed back to Olivia saying in another season that the mom had a credit card in Ethan's name. And he didn't even have the password to the card. And she was just spinning it up. You can't really, unless your mom, you can't really be like, oh, well, because guess what? You weren't there either. Honestly, Olivia has almost the first account because that's her husband. He's telling her directly. I'm pretty sure he showed evidence. Like, hey, look, like, I can't even, I don't even have the password to it. So, I get it. It's your mom. But again, you don't know either. Everybody's getting secondhand. Okay, so before we go to Mariah, just a little bit on Micah. He also said that Olivia has been trying to manipulate them ever since she and Ethan has been married. When it comes down to the food they eat, how they were raised, yada, yada, yada. I don't know about the other stuff because, again, I wasn't completely there. I didn't see everything. But we were all, as viewers, we were all talking about how you guys were raised, what you guys were eating, and all other things. Because the same stuff Y'all not doing the same stuff as when y'all were living in that household. And your mother's not doing the same stuff with those kids as she was when y'all was living in that household either. They could only eat honey for something sweet. They couldn't watch TV. No cell phone. Can't talk to a boy. It's a whole list of baloney rules. We were all talking about it. So yes, Olivia's like, that's not what they do. It's too strict because y'all went to the world unprepared. Which this was one of y'all gripes. Also, when y'all got to the real world and saw that y'all were not prepared for the real world. So I wouldn't put that on Olivia. She was just observing and couldn't believe that y'all were basically that sheltered. Because you're not just a little guy on the farm who was shy to talk anymore from the first season. You're out here still being a model. You're not back in the house, going back to your hometown, doing the same things you were doing. So let's not put that all on Olivia. So we get to Mariah. She is in her love. She's dyed her hair back to blonde. Thank God. I hated it purple. She said she's met the new love of her life, which is her dog. She's being single, which I love for her. She graduated bartending school, so she's a bartender. She looks really happy. She's talking about enjoying her space, being alone. She said the last year was hard when she was living with, you know, Ethan, Olivia, and Micah when they were all living together. She talks about the incident, how Micah said about Olivia saying that their mother used Ethan's credit card and went shopping and bought stuff for herself. But she said it was wrong for her to do that because it was telling a bit of the bits and pieces of the story instead of telling the full story. Again, they're not saying what the full story is. I just need more evidence. I feel like it will come out, but I just need more evidence before I condemn Olivia for saying that, because that's what her husband told her. Your brother. You know what I mean? So I need more evidence, but she did say that was kind of the straw that broke the camel back, honestly, because flashback to last year about their going to their brother's grave, and then the river trip where Olivia was being very standoffish, down by the water, didn't want to be around the family because Kim, their mother, was there. It was like, girl, get over it. I remember that episode, and Mariah did go off on her and said, my family is going to do a divorce, this and this and that. Like, why is it always about you? Which I do understand, because Olivia does make it about her. So when this thing came about, them talking about their mother, they decided to do a rebuttal online because she didn't want Olivia to feel like she could say anything about her family and get away with it, basically, and it'll be taken as the truth. Mariah also drops a little bomb saying that while Ethan and Olivia were in Europe, she moved. She said that was the best decision for her, so they don't even know that she moved, and she basically feels no qualms about, yeah, Olivia, you were my best friend, we were cool, but hey, que sera, sera. Juices, you're gone. Things happen for a reason. And she also says she tried to reach out to them many times and she got no response. So she left a note. So yeah, with that information, bye. Yeah, I would do the same thing. Like, okay, next scene, we're going to see Kim, which is the mom. She is the glue and why everything fell apart. So she says, you know, her and Barry divorced. Barry wouldn't move out, so she went to the apartment that is above the dance studio that Barry bought her. And she's saying that before, Barry would take care of all the logistics when it comes to running the household, and she would just be the, you know, the parent, you know, schooling, yada yada yada. And now both of them have to take on those roles, and the kids are with both of them half time. They come and get homeschooled over at her apartment. Sometimes they stay the night, and when they don't, they just go back to the house. She looks happy. I mean, when she was doing her own thing, she looked happy at first. Let's see if Barry is going to be happy a little bit later on, but for the most part, she looks happy. Kim goes on to say that she's very scared. The whole divorce thing and possibly being alone for the rest of her life, because she's taking that chance and losing the respect of her community. her kids, etc., etc. But she said it was worth it because there was nothing more lonely than being with someone and feeling alone. Which, girl, I can high five for that. I can agree. Ethan is standing 10 toes down saying it happened. You gotta at least take that from your brother and just back up and like, look, this is y'all thing, but Olivia, I would just appreciate it. You would just limit the bad things that comes when it comes to mom and other stuff. Maybe it's for you, personal things that happen with you. We don't mind you speaking on it, but when it happens to things that didn't personally happen to you, can you just not, or just, you know, just say no comment? You know, y'all could have asked her that. But to say that you don't like the things that she say just because, and then Ethan said the other siblings basically got on board to basically discredit Olivia. It's kind of like, I get it, but Ethan's like, now I have to go home and clean up all this mess. He really wants to talk to Micah and Mariah. Why are they saying these things on the internet? So I don't know how they're gonna clean this up. Hopefully they clean it up, because it's hard fighting with your siblings, especially when you're an adult, because you don't have to be around each other. And when you still want to make it work, it's hard, because everybody can just like, look, I don't have to deal with this. We're not kids. We're not in the same house. Like, you can't tell me what to do. So everybody's being stubborn. So I hope it works out, but I feel like it's probably going to be a long road. But anyway, Barry talks about the divorce and moving on, and he's going to the gym, actually, getting pumped. He said it was just a way to get out his frustrations, but then he was like, oh, he liked it. It kind of relieved the stress. So he kept going, and he do have some guns. Barry has some guns. He will be inviting people to the gun show. So Barry is definitely working out that frustration. I think that's something he's good at. This divorce tore him up, but I think he feels like I can't, which he kind of said, I can go to the depression route, or I can, you know, basically keep moving on, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to go to that place because he doesn't want to stay in that place, and he knows that those kids need him. I'm not saying that the mother's not there, but from what we see on TV, it feels like Barry takes more into the consideration about what's gonna go on and how the kids might feel. I'm not saying that the mother shouldn't have moved out if she wasn't happy and stuff like that, but you could tell the kids felt like she should move out the house instead of Barry. She said, because Kim said Barry wasn't moving. I didn't feel like Barry should have moved, because Barry didn't want it. You wanted to get a divorce. You move out, okay, if you're the woman or not. Like, you're not going to be home like that anyway. You were always at the dance studio. So it really he would have really been alone if he had to be in an apartment by himself with no kids. Okay, so Ethan gets back home and he like, it's empty in here, because it is. Nobody's home. Nathan, Olivia's brother, lives with them, but he's not home from work yet, I assume, when he walks in. But he finds, Ethan finds a note on the counter. Basically, the note that Mariah said she left, saying she had to leave, and hope they talk. Ethan is upset. He does turn a little red. He's not like mad, enraged, but he is upset and disappointed. He goes to the room just to, you know, check. All her stuff is gone, it's clean. He was like, oh, I thought she was gonna at least pay for the last month, because they did lease this house together. So he just comes back to the room and says, I'm just not even gonna contact her right now. Let a couple of days blow by, and then I will get in touch with her so we can talk. Micah and Mariah come to visit their parents in Cairo. They go to the house. Of course, they invite, Kim comes to the house because they requested that she come. It's a little awkward between the parents, but they say they make it work. They can be cordial around each other. They see their siblings, but they tell the mom and dad that they want to talk to them. Dun dun dun. So Micah is apologizing to the parents on how he reacted in the past. in his solo interview, he's saying that Olivia influenced, like, introduced him to a lot of things. But she introduced him to modeling, and the lady from the modeling agency. So let's just put that out there. She introduced him to stuff, and for a while he thought his upbringing was horrible, because the way she brought stuff to them. Mind you, again, as I said earlier, we all were looking at their childhood like WTF. Yes, I like the aspect where they got to be on the farm and actually live life without electronics, but their parents still made them not prepared for the future, and those kids, because of Olivia and Ethan and exposing them to stuff, Mariah got out there, found her voice in the singing and stuff like that, and Micah is out here being a model. So you cannot put that solely on Olivia, saying you were completely influenced because your parents influenced you and you just went to a quote-unquote different master and you took it that way, not how Olivia put that on you. Because she did introduce y'all to stuff, and like I said, it was really weird and it was crazy, but they did all this stuff when they were younger. So it's really weird. But I don't like how he's putting it all on Olivia. Just say you own up to your own actions. You were young and dumb. Don't put you were influenced. No, that's the way that you wanted to go at that time. Not them saying Ethan's been brainwashed. What was your mother and your father doing when they wouldn't let you on the internet? What was your mother and father doing when they wouldn't let you get a cell phone? Like, yes, I agree. And I don't even think their childhood was completely, like, down the toilet. I think 20% of their childhood was bad. I like that they had land, they grew up, knew how to build stuff, yada, yada, yada. It was just certain stuff that was like, why do you have to be strict about certain things? Especially as being a teenager and growing up and not having them be able to do particular things that are part of their experience of growing up and becoming an adult. That stunted their growth. So them saying that Olivia is brainwashing Ethan is freaking weird. So to conclude that conversation, they basically said, we ain't effing with Olivia. She be telling lies. It's one-sided. I think that the kids have came to this point only because their parents are getting a divorce. Their parents are getting a divorce. They don't want their family to split even further. So they're going to take up for their mom because they feel like what Olivia's saying is wrong. But Kim did not defend herself at all. She said, I'm not defending myself anymore against stories that Ethan and Olivia are telling. So you're not going to say what happened. You're going to just leave us to just assume. And that's the problem. You can straighten out right now and say, well, there was something, we got to straighten it out, but it wasn't like I was just swiping the card. Da, 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 da. She doesn't want to say anything. She said she's not going to say anything. All she said, she was proud of the kids and made a group post for them defending her. She said she cried and she was happy about that. But they're making Olivia seem like she's a demon. Now, I'm not on that lady's side. I don't like Olivia like that because she be crying all the time. I wish she would get it together. But you can't. How y'all putting that all on her? And how that one situation, I know they saying stuff was built up, but how, and y'all don't even really know if it's a lie or not. Ethan saying it happened, mom's not saying left or right, and dad is just like, oh yeah, she's turning up relationships. What? He agrees with whatever Kim says, so it's just like whatever. And y'all had these feelings. It's crazy. Go back, everyone. Go back to those first and second seasons, how they felt about their parents. It had nothing to do with Olivia. It dealt with how they felt about their parents and their upbringing and what they felt they missed or lacked. Yes, they appreciate some stuff now because they see their parents are getting divorced and they see everything is not solid and things are really unclear and unsure, and they don't want things to change that much because they didn't see it changing. But don't act like y'all were not happy. Y'all were not happy 100% on how y'all were raised. Y'all weren't, and that had nothing to do with Olivia. Olivia's back home. She said she came back home to none of the Plath siblings talking to her. And basically everybody hating her. And, you know, Mariah's gone. And now she's discussing with Ethan about him moving back to Cairo for 2 months, you know, to work on his cars so he can sell the cars or either get them fixed and keep them, but take them to Minnesota with them. She's like, she has trust with, so with her and Ethan, she's always talking about this trust stuff. She said before she didn't feel like he defended the relationship, didn't defend her. So she said over the past summer, he showed her that, and I'm assuming that has to go regarding the text messages. He didn't just give it to his family. He actually stood up for her and stuck by her. So she was like, I trust him going back down there, but I don't trust the people. And that gives me anxiety. I need you to let that go. And here's why. If you put that on him like you've done before, it's only going to push him not even to the other. It's going to either push him to the other side or be indifferent. Because it was at one point he was sick of your too. You kept complaining and crying and whining, and he just took his ass on somewhere and just damn near gave up on a relationship. So nagging him about his family that he cannot choose, he cannot control, and he cannot change. There's no point. He can't change who his mom is. He can't change who his siblings are. And if he wants them to be in his life, y'all are going to have to figure out a way to navigate that. And that's point blank in the period. And if there's stuff where you're willing and he's willing to let him go by himself, you need to trust him and that be the end all be all. That's it and that's all. Because you're going to push him away, sweetie, and the marriage is not going to last. So what, he's supposed to go down there and not talk to his family? You know he's going to go down there and talk to his family. And plus they're on a TV show about the family. But yeah, y'all, that was the end of the show. You know, Olivia goes to the room and cries. Their relationship stays solid, it looks like, for the most part. But Micah and Mariah, they are hard-headed. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. I'll check you in the next one. I really enjoyed discussing Welcome to Plathville. This is my secret indulgence that I love. I love Welcome to Plathville. But I'll see you on the next one. Check out some of my other videos if you want to stay around and get comfy and cozy. Bye.